ever feel like your videos need to be absolutely perfect before you can share them? Have you ever felt that way? Oh, we get it. We've been there. And
A lot.
and so today we're going to be discussing how perfectionism can really hold us back, especially in creating videos.
Yep. And it's really a life-changing thing to work through that. So what we want to do is to look at shifting our mindset to focusing on progress instead of perfectionism. I admire Dean Graziosi, and his statement is always, we're a culture of progress rather than the culture of perfection. And that is so true. And I'm Robert Arnot, the video wizard, and this is my wife, Nancy Walsch.
Hi.
And so let's just dive into this and talk about why it's like when you're trying to be perfect, it really creates, from the sort of the mechanical side of things, constant re-recording. You know, we're fortunate in a way going live because we have a one-take deal here, but constantly re-recording, and then more and more clips to put together. If you're in the video editing software, it can really lead to, I love video editing, and what I find is I'm doing way too much excessive little, let's just tweak that a little bit this way or that way, and just trying to be perfect when really, and you ever realize how when you kind of finally just put it out there, it's like that's good enough. It's like trying to get every little weed pulled from the lawn, where ultimately if you get most of it, it's all good. And then the other problem with trying to be perfect is you're just never satisfied, and it's really bad for just your general energy.
Yeah. The impact of perfectionism, can cause procrastination, burnout from overproduction, just spending way too much time in the whole production, editing, and so forth, and burning out.
Overwhelm,
yeah, constant dissatisfaction, as we mentioned. And studies show that perfectionism really can decrease creativity and hinder productivity. And one of the things that causes perfectionism is the fear of making mistakes. And that is something that, we're going to be helping with some of the, specific things that you can do. But one of the things of fear of mistakes is going to, you can use tapping for that. We'll do that I think probably in another video that, on that whole fear of making mistakes. But that is a huge piece in why we want to do having it perfect, so we won't have that mistakes.
Right. That part about
show up as
hindering
bad
production and so forth. We don't realize, or many people don't realize, different parts of the brain and how it all works, because this master computer really does get affected by how we're operating in our mindset. And so anyways, I think we wanted to share a few strategies about how to help break through this perfectionism issue. And the first strategy is simply, if you remember, good enough. Like, done is the new perfect. And so content doesn't have to be perfect. As a matter of fact, if you think about it, sometimes if you're trying to be so polished, you lose your authentic self in it, and you're not putting your true self out there. We don't typically make Hollywood type videos. We make stuff where people can identify with us and have that know, like, and trust really show up. And so we like to think about focusing on helpful, authentic messages as that part of the good enough.
And another part about that good enough thing is that's also another reason why we may want to be perfect, is because we're not feeling good enough. And that is another mindset that can help you in just going, hey, what I have to give, and focusing on what you're wanting to help the people, rather than, worrying about whether I was good enough. And there's also, just really some good tapping on that as well.
Right.
So.
I just would like to add that it's like, as I continually say, getting better and better with using online video is a huge personal growth, personal development tool. And so let's just keep holding that in mind.
Right. So another strategy is, set realistic goals, especially when you're going in the production situation, set them as achievable goals that can help reduce stress rather than perfect, goals that are so unachievable and perfect that you just are completely stressed out with that. And, break those tasks of video into manageable parts. Don't have to get it all done at once and have it all perfect. So, yeah.
Right.
But.
And so, again, think about focusing on progress rather than perfection. So our third strategy really is that focusing on progress and to celebrate improvements. That, hey, look at that, I did this better, or at least I got the light a little better, and look at how much better it looks. But always know that
we're not having mic issues anymore.
Yeah. Our issues, we get in here so we can pretty much set up and go now. But I'm remembering Brendan Burchard, who's one of the most famous personal growth coaches, just an amazing human being, showing and talking about some of his first videos he did. And we all start not as good as we'd like to be. So we should,
just embrace.
Yeah.
Embrace where you start and embrace that they're not going to be perfect, and don't even try to be perfect, but embrace, your growth. And
so celebrating the improvements and the constructive growth, acknowledging the growth. I mean, gosh, instead of just being stagnant in life, this is a great opportunity, probably one of the most amazing ways you can go about involving yourself in personal development.
So, yeah, and another strategy is to help with that progress is ask for feedback. Seek feedback and view mistakes as learning opportunities. But feedback can be, if you are not feeling good enough or it has to be perfect, any kind of feedback that even is maybe constructive is going to feel, like, oh, I don't want to get feedback because it's going to make me feel like less than, or I didn't do right. Instead of changing that mindset, take a step back, use that feedback to improve and go, I'm just in the learning process. Just anytime, if you're learning a new language or learning, a new hobby or playing a guitar or something like that, that you're not going to be perfect to start with. And that's the same way with, learning video. It takes some practice, and that's where one of the things that can be helpful, I think, is the plan, prepare, and practice. Those are the things that can be useful in making you feel like you're making progress each time.
So, and practice, they used to say practice makes perfect, but how about if we say practice makes progress?
Yes.
That's so much better. And the, again, to be aware of the personal development, the growth ability of looking at your mistakes or how you can do better and then improving on them rather than just going, oh, I'm no good, I'll give up at this point. And so the other thing about getting out of the perfection mode, I think, is looking at time management. Okay, so time management can mean, setting realistic limits for your production stages, like setup, recording, editing, uploading, the things that take time. Well, so it's one thing, and I tend to be this way, where I'll be in sort of a creative flow and it may be 2 hours, seems like 1 hour, but really in order to get the structure to work, it is better to be, so you set a time, you have time blocking, right? And so, and then to as far as more to do with time management, is just to stay productive. It's probably better during your 1 hour time block not to go to your iPhone to play a game for 5 minutes and then forget where you were when you come back.
Yeah.
It's also important to, let's see here, don't overanalyze. You know, in your time management, you know, you can get stuck and lose a lot of time just overanalyzing
Especially
things.
in the editing field.
Yeah, or
Analyzing.
adding one more overlay or one more transition, or, you know, because it's a, well, to me, video editing is an art form, and yet it's something that needs to also be just, you know, simple and straightforward if you want to just get the job done. And so there's one other thing that we've noticed, and we have this rule called the 3-take rule, and that if you have, let's say, a 30-second passage you want to record, if you can't do it in the first 3 takes, you probably should step back from trying to do it, because after 3 takes, boom, it just seems like it, doesn't it seem like it makes it harder and harder to get it done?
Usually the next takes don't turn out as well as
they just
the first
get worse.
3.
So it goes
So,
downhill from there.
and part of the reason is because you're getting frustrated, you're getting, you know, tired, you're getting, you know, the other takes frustrated you. Now it just snowballs. So it is good to just go ahead and step away. And often, if you have done the prepare, the plan, the prepare, and the practice before you even turn the recording on, often that will avoid having to do a whole lot of takes. But if you're still feeling like you're not happy with it, take a look and see, you know, am I being too perfect?
Right.
Or do I need to just kind of step back, think about what I'm offering to other people?
Yeah. I think using that idea kind of almost sets the tone for, at least by the 3rd time, it's going to be, you know, good enough, but not lousy. It's going to be good enough.
Yeah.
And
or take a break and then try it again. Review, you know, practice, but take a break, you know, even if it's just, you know, if you have a recording studio and they're waiting, just say, hey, I need to go for a walk for a minute, get a glass of water, need to take some breaths. And
do some tapping.
Do some tapping.
It's amazing
come
what
back.
a couple of minutes worth of EFT can do as far as getting you dialed in.
And you can do it again. If you got benefit from this video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and hit that bell notification so you know when our next video comes out, and we'd love to hear comments from you. So comment below. Thanks.
Yep, thank you.